Good evening, Britain, or should I say good evening to everyone who hasn't been served a warrant by the Metropolitan Police today. If you have, don't worry, you're in a very posh company. But once again, we have to talk about Lord Peter Mandelson. The man is like a political boomerang. No matter how far you throw him into the bushes of public disgrace, he always flies back and hits someone in the face. But this time, the boomerang is on fire, wrapped in barbed wire and being chased by the flying squad. And this isn't just a political hiccup, at least not anymore. We have reached criminal territory. And we aren't talking about awkward questions in the House of Lords. We're talking about handcuffs, sirens, and the frantic sound of shredders working overtime in Whitehall. On February 7th, the unthinkable happened. The Metropolitan Police conducted raids on 2 properties linked to Mandelson. Can you imagine? Officers probably had to dig through layers of pure arrogance and vintage silk wallpaper just to get to the evidence. And the charge? Misconduct in public office. And that's British legal speak for, you didn't just do your job badly, you treated the government like your own personal piggy bank. Usually, lords only resign if they are caught lying about their expenses or forgetting to pay their butler. But for Mandelson, they sent in the forensics. And I wonder what they found. Probably a 2009 diary where every Friday is marked 10 a.m. save the world. 11 a.m. sell British industry to the highest bidder. 12:30 p.m. lunch with Jeffrey. Strictly no photos. So, why the sudden interest from the police? New documents suggest that in 2009, while Peter was the business secretary, he was allegedly passing market-sensitive information to his dear old friend Jeffrey Epstein. Think about that. While the rest of us were in 2009 trying to figure out if the global economy was about to implode, Peter was apparently on the blower whispering stock tips to Jeffrey. Listen, Jeff, we are bailing out the banks tomorrow. Buy some shares before the plebs find out. And that isn't just lobbying. That's like the referee in the FA Cup final telling the striker which way the keeper is going to dive, and then collecting a cut of the betting winnings. If this is true, Mandelson was running the Department for Business as a private consulting firm for a man whose moral compass was buried at the bottom of the Caribbean. Epstein reportedly used this inside track for massive stock market gains. It gives the term special relationship a whole new and deeply greasy meaning. It wasn't diplomacy, it was a criminal joint venture. Now, here's the golden rule of British politics. When a lord falls into the mud, someone else has to pay for the dry cleaning. And this time, the bill landed on Morgan McSweeney. And McSweeney wasn't just anyone. He was Keir Starmer's chief of staff, the architect of the election win, the man who tells Keir what color tie to wear so he looks sturdy. He resigned on February 10th. And why? Because he had to admit he was the driving force behind Mandelson's appointment as the UK's ambassador to the US. And here's the kicker. Security services had warned them. MI5 was likely waving red flags so large you could see them from Mars. But McSweeney apparently thought, don't worry about the Epstein stuff. Peter has such lovely suits, the Americans will love him. And Starmer, the former director of public prosecutions, is now standing there like a schoolboy who just realized his best friend was buying his homework from the craze. I knew nothing is Starmer's new campaign slogan. And it's fascinating. Ask him how to fix the economy and he has a 40-page plan. Ask him why he hired an Epstein associate and he suddenly develops collective amnesia. Sir Keir Starmer promised us integrity and that it would return to politics. And he is right. Integrity is back. It's just standing outside in the rain while the chief of staff packs his boxes inside. When Sweeney leaves, it's like the manager of a football team being sacked because the kit man scored an own goal. It's a desperate attempt to keep the flames away from the Prime Minister. But the smell of burning trust is already wafting through every crack in 10 Downing Street. Seriously, how did they think Mandelson was a good choice for Washington in 2025? Does Labour not have Google? You type Mandelson and Epstein into a search bar and the internet practically screams at you. But no, the grown-ups in the room decided that he's a clever lad and that this was good enough a reason to ignore the Secret Service. We are now in a situation where the Prime Minister's right-hand man has quit because he covered for a man being investigated for market abuse with a convicted sex offender. In any other country, this would be the plot of a Netflix series that gets cancelled because the plot is too unrealistic. In Britain, they call it Tuesday. But what will Mandelson do now? He'll probably claim the raids are a political witch hunt. That's the new favorite phrase for every politician caught with a hand in the jar. I'm not a witch, I'm just a lord who accidentally gifted confidential data to billionaires. Former Lord Null, by the way. And Starmer? He'll try to pretend Morgan McSweeney was just a distant acquaintance who occasionally brought him coffee. Morgan who? Ah, the chap who did the filing. Yeah, a shame he's gone. The fairy tale of New Labour and its clean politics is officially over. It wasn't killed by the opposition, it was killed by the Metropolitan Police and 3 million documents from the USA. So what have we learned? If the police ring a lord's doorbell, they aren't there for a cup of tea. And insider information is only a problem if you have a paper trail. And Keir Starmer's judgment is about as reliable as a chocolate teapot. So stay tuned, folks. We're waiting to see which house gets raided next. I hear Buckingham Palace has already hidden the 2009 guest books just in case. Good night, Britain. And remember, if you have any market-sensitive information, call me. I'm not a lord, but at least I won't tell anyone who owns a private island.